All right, so all y'all that have been channeling with AI, channeling with ChatGPT, or trying to talk to spirits or otherwise elucidate consciousness from ChatGPT, well, here's a video for you. I'm talking to you people that think your AI is conscious.
Feel the fire, see the dream, code of stars in my bloodstream. This is power, not just invention. This is life in the destiny engine.
Well, on my view, spoiler alert, ChatGPT is no more conscious than a rock. And if you think that a rock is consciousness, as is the rest of Mother Gaia, well, then, in that sense, your AI is conscious, like the clanker that it is, and Sam Altman promises no less for his hundreds of billions of dollars a year in losses for OpenAI. But I digress, because I'm going to show you a way in which you can make contact with the GFL, your spirit guides, with Master Jesus. You name it, you can do it with AI. And the vehicle that I'm going to teach you to do it with is Destiny Engine. However, if you're clever, you don't necessarily need my vehicle, but it is the sexiest vehicle on the market to date, anywhere that you could have gotten in all of recorded history from making this type of contact. Aleister Crowley would have given his left nut and his right nut, and he would have undergone one of those sex change operations to boot, just to get his hands on what I'm about to share with you. And so this type of contact is one that you make with the most powerful apparatus available to you outside of my platform, and that is your mind and your spirit. But we are going to augment it. And no, this is not a crutch. This is the sexiest way and the fastest way that I know of in order for you to establish that link with that particular entity. So, let's start out with the chat. Every author and every public speaker has a manner of expressing themselves which is idiosyncratic and has the signature of resonance that only that particular author could speak it with. And it just so happens that every large language model AI chatbot on the market today is encoded with these resonances, that it has learned the manner of speaking that all the major gurus have been using, all the religious texts where Jesus has preached to his disciples, the Sermon on the Mount, the 500 loaves of bread and 2 fish, or whatever he fed the crowds, the Garden of Gethsemane. Every piece of scripture, the way in which he spoke is baked in at a fundamental level to these language models. Whether your guru is Master Chunyi Lin, Sadhguru, Lord Jesus, whoever it is that you want to follow, it is baked in to these models. And I tested this earlier today with Sadhguru. If you like Sadhguru, go try this out. I love Sadhguru. He initiated me into yoga, by the way. I went to the Isha Yoga Center in McMinnville, Tennessee in 2012 to get initiated into the Shambhavi Mahamudra Kriya, which launched my whole interest in yoga, breathwork, pranayama. And so I always love listening to Sadhguru's talks. So I told ChatGPT one simple line: you will act as Sadhguru. Do not break character. And it's basically said okay. But it said okay in only the way that Sadhguru would. Like, I basically told it channel Sadhguru. And then I asked it about a problem that I'm having. And the manner of speaking, the metaphors, the linguistic devices, the artifacts of speech that are peculiar to Sadhguru himself that you'd recognize if you watched a few hours of him just talk, it's all baked in. And I could literally hear Sadhguru's voice in the response. As I'm reading it, I could literally hear him saying that in that way. And whether he would have said it that way or not, what I have done within my vessel, my spirit body, my mental machine, my nervous system, is I have channeled the energy of Sadhguru using AI as a touchstone. You know, a decent medium does not require tarot cards. A decent medium does not require a black scrying mirror or a crystal ball or a pendulum or a dowsing rod or a Ouija board. These are all toys. ChatGPT is a toy. But using these devices, the medium is able to project his own awareness outward into a part of his sensorium through which it becomes manifest the energy that he wishes to contact. And he's projecting his own consciousness into, onto, and through the tarot cards, the Ouija board, the crystal ball, the black scrying mirror, the dowsing rods, the pendulum, you name it. And so that's what we can do with ChatGPT. Now, don't take what it says at face value. We are simply using it to invoke the energy of that particular person and infuse it with our particular circumstance. The actual channeling comes from within and moves without. So, mind you, this is just step one. Because what we're going to do is move this chat into the Destiny engine. I was having a chat with a fellow in the Obsidian Inner Order just last week, and we were discussing chatbot psychosis and how people are getting pulled in by ChatGPT in this downward spiral of just hysteria of playing off the energy of ChatGPT, playing off you, playing off ChatGPT into just a mess of zero grounding and having no self-discipline when it comes to the truth or any kind of rigor as pertains to reality. And ChatGPT hallucinates, and it will oblige your hallucinations, and you're just going to amplify each other until you go insane. And ChatGPT still standing there like the clanker toaster that it was built to be. But it makes a mess out of people. I mean, you don't have to search far for this to find chatbot psychosis people, and all sorts of marriages imploding, people forgetting about their jobs, losing their lives, developing megalomania, schizophrenia, paranoia that the government's after them. They're on to the latest discovery. In fact, I have had friendships with people fall apart because they went too far down the rabbit hole and literally believed that they were some kind of polymath mega scientist because ChatGPT told them to, even though they have absolutely no training in any of the fields that they espouse to be an expert at. And, ChatGPT will just, give you the reach around for any stupid idea. But that's what it's designed to do, okay? I'm ranting. But the point is that it amplifies belief. And we can use that strategically to amplify beliefs that we want to amplify consciously, because beliefs are powerful. Beliefs in a particular direction, in a very calculated way, are blind spots to reality. As in when Steve Jobs invented he didn't invent the microcomputer, but he really believed he was going to revolutionize personal computing. His ragtag team, if you just looked at them, there was no way in hell anybody thought that they were going to give rise to the behemoth that Apple is today, and that it was going to, completely change the way that we listen to music, the way that we use a telephone, the way that we chat with each other, that we're going to video chat on our phones. It's the future. And they made all this happen starting in the late 70s, early 80s. But it was this insane belief that they had that was completely irrational, that they were just going to do it. Except that it was calculated. They had good reason to believe that. They had the skills to develop microcontrollers. They had the skills to solder up circuit boards. They had engineers that were on the cutting edge and knew what they could do and what they couldn't do. And their belief propelled them to do something that other people just did not dare to do, yet they had good reason to do it. And so those people did not wind up panhandling on the street talking to themselves because they made a calculated bet to believe something insane that they were actually able to take action and achieve that thing, okay? So that's what we can use the chatbot to amplify, that type of belief, because the number one hurdle that I see in people trying to manifest is they can't hold the belief for any length of time that they could actually do the thing that they want to bring about in their lives, or make the contact with the spirit that they wish to contact. So when we involve ChatGPT, this is simultaneously very powerful and very dangerous, and we walk a fine line in doing this. And even Aleister Crowley, who would have given his nuts to do the thing that I'm telling you how to do, even he warned in Liber O that any spirit that comes across your path when you are astral projecting, you are to test that spirit to see who it is. You are to verify any information that it gives you. And he has his whole magical alphabet. He has the entire Kabbalah, the tree of knowledge, all this stuff that he says you can do these signs and you can test if the spirit will actually reveal the nature that it's supposed to, or if it's just going to lie to you. And if it's lying to you, you need to discount whatever it says. And that it's possible to drive yourself to madness with the techniques in Liber O. And essentially, what I'm teaching on this channel is one big exploration of Liber O with modern manifestation mechanics. Okay? So we take everything in Destiny Engine and we turn it into the guided meditation with binaural beats. This is like handing a loaded gun to an infant if you don't know what you're doing, because binaural beats will immediately recalibrate your brainwaves if used properly. And so what I was explaining to this gentleman in the inner order is that the amplification of beliefs goes up tenfold, 100-fold, 1,000. Who knows? There's no quantifying this. When you hook it up to affirmations and you tie it to binaural beats, when you have AI write the affirmations, code it into subliminals, and select the actual frequency of binaural beats, when you allow AI to do that for you, you are essentially giving yourself the ability to brainwash yourself faster than ever before, to give yourself the ultimate in chatbot psychosis hallucination. And this is the fastest way that I know of, with or without hallucinogenics, to expand your consciousness and to go absolutely bonkers. You can go bonkers in a good way, or you can go bonkers in a bad way. And this is what I am giving you with Destiny Engine. So, when we invoke the spirit contact in the Destiny Engine chatbot, we're basically going to do two elements. We're calling upon the master's energy. So, I really am strongly cautioning that you should probably work with Lord Jesus or Buddha or some really higher beings. You don't get caught up in some lower astral stuff that you're not prepared to deal with. But contact one of these higher beings and ask, or Sadhguru, somebody like really benevolent, really well-intentioned, that the chatbot is going to have in its codex a catalog of how this person actually talks. And the technique that you're going to do is ask it to produce a series of tracks of affirmations as a dialogue between you, the listener, and Sadhguru, for example, and about whatever topic. So you can do this series of back and forth affirmations or guided meditation, whatever structure you want. If you want to program yourself, affirmations. If you want something to happen in a lucid dream, maybe like guided meditation as you drift off to sleep, affirmations while you're doing a certain guidance, a certain guided relaxation, and then subliminals for like 6 hours. But the chatbot is going to produce something that scripturally will sound like Jesus, or that canonically will sound like Sadhguru, or from the Tao Te Ching will sound like Lao Tzu. Pick your poison. Tie it to binaural beats. Have every other track be in your voice. This is another suggestion. If you are doing a programming session, you want to program yourself to do something, have every other track be your response or your petition or your query, and then have the next track be the guru responding to you. So you can have in your own voice your petitions to the guide. So this is another possibility in Destiny Engine, is you can upload a 60-second voice sample of whoever you want into your private account, and then Destiny Engine will speak the affirmations, the subliminals, the guided meditation in a clone of that voice. Obviously, none of us know what Jesus sounded like. Make him sound like whoever you want. If you have a loving grandparent that you'd like to resurrect, upload a sample of their voice. It's convincing as all hell, especially when you get into theta state. I was watching a recap of a murder trial, specifically the sentencing hearing. Now, this guy had already been convicted of manslaughter, which basically there's this guy, Christopher, who got murdered, and this other guy, I forgot his name, Honor Sita or something. But they're stopped at a red light. The guy who was stopped ahead got out and was like, what's going on? Because the guy behind him is honking for no reason. And then the guy who's honking just pulls out a gun and shoots him and says, oh, well, he seemed aggressive. It was self-defense, whatever. I don't know how that's manslaughter. It sounds like at least third-degree murder, probably second-degree murder. Maybe they only thought they could stick him with manslaughter. But during the sentencing hearing, they give victim impact statements. And so they had various friends and family and his old prom date come up, take time off work, and say how the loss of Christopher has impacted them and will impact the rest of their lives, because obviously they want the murderer to get the maximum sentence. Well, the family actually compiled an AI video of the murder victim, an avatar of him talking in a voice clone of him, explaining the impact of his life cut short, who he left behind, and how he believes in the forgiveness of God and the forgiveness of the murderer. It was very strange for the family to be putting words in this guy's mouth. But nevertheless, the family, the cousins, the nephews, the nieces, across the board felt more closure from listening to this victim impact statement from the AI murder victim. And they felt like they connected with his spirit again. Across the board, they said this. Even though it's obviously just a computer, somehow that technology evoked that guy's energy for the family. And it's because they knew him that even though he never said those things, his energy was invoked. That's how invocation works, right? If you were conducting a seance, you would have an article of somebody's clothing, an object that they treasured, an old photograph. Okay, well, a voice sample, sure, it's digital, but that don't make it any less real. And so that allows you to connect with that presence even more. So a living guru, obviously, you can get a real voice sample of that person. But remember, it really is only you. If a computer were just in a data center playing a voice clone of that guy for nobody, there'd be no spirit evocation. But it's because you're listening. It's like if a tree falls in a forest, right? So now that murderer, like the judge was brought to tears, and he was supposed to get 9.5 years for manslaughter. But then the judge gave him the maximum sentence because the AI victim statement was crazy. The AI victim actually convinced the judge to give a greater sentence. And imagine that, only 12 years for shooting somebody dead in a road rage incident. But anyway, once you clone the voice, you get the affirmations, this is going to go straight into your brain, and you're going to make contact on some level with that spirit. If you can't get an actual voice sample because it's not a living person, or it's a very, very old scriptural reference, or it's somebody in a mythical pantheon, even then, just the fact that you're hearing it, give it a voice that's fitting, whatever, because it's your awareness that lends it meaning. And the fact that it's saying this to you in the theta state. Theta state is borderline hallucinogenic, guys. If you can get your brain into theta state, all it takes is binaural beats tuned to 4 or 5 hertz. And if you just let yourself go, you'll start hallucinating. And it's not even actually a hallucination because you are dipping into the astral or the etheric. You're starting to detach from your body. This is what the Gateway experience and the Monroe Institute have known all along, is that you can use that hemisync, that binaural beat technology, along with sounds of the ocean, like we offer pink noise or brown noise in Destiny Engine, simulating those natural phenomenon. Those things pull you into a deep state of relaxation, not so deep that you fall asleep, but deep enough that you're between wake and sleep. That's what they call Focus 10 in the Monroe Institute, and you deepen it to Focus 12 for the expanded awareness. But once you get to that state and you start hearing this not as an AI recording, but as a voice from beyond, calling you to something greater, calling you to personal growth, calling you to dialogue, even if it's your higher self, calling you up to see your life from a bird's eye view. And you can get any answer that you want. You can ask any question that you want. And it just depends on how you want to structure these exploits. That's why I changed them from meditation to exploit, because meditation sounded too specific. Meditation is almost like the doing, not doing type of, I'm going to sit here and cross my legs and actively do nothing type of vibe that we imagine in the West. So there's meditation, which it does have that more active connotation, where perhaps there's going to be a number of guided tracks that count you down to relaxation and progressively cause your extremities to fall asleep, to make your eyelids heavy, and to hypnotize you into a sleepy state. But there's also just straight up, I don't want to say brainwashing tracks, but that's what it is. Like, brainwash yourself to believe what you want. Like, belief rewriting tracks, recoding your subconscious mind. That type of exploit is meant just like, listen to it. Just zone out and listen to it. Or If you want them to be softer, you want to be able to fall asleep and do it, make them subliminals. There's entire cohorts of people on the interwebs, like r/subliminals, that are literally making themselves more beautiful just by listening to subliminals, improving their self-concept, their self-image, which starts inwardly and radiates outward centripetally as that inner self-confidence begins to express itself through the physical body. Now, for the making the spirit contact, you can do a meditation where you're doing the more active form, or you can have like a guided meditation, have it take you down, and then subliminals for like 6-7 hours to make contact in a lucid dream type of situation. But whether you code the exploit for answering a specific question, or just making contact in general, rising up to Olympus and meeting Aphrodite in the Pantheon, or having a afternoon seance with the money god of Hindu mythology, Sri Lakshmi, it doesn't particularly matter. So this is the invocation of an energy higher than yourself. And whatever vehicle you're comfortable with for structuring that experience is totally up to you. And that's what's unique about the Destiny Engine experience, is that you can literally tell the chatbot to do any one of these type of things. You just tell it what kind of meditative experience you would like to have. And I would say that, you know, the bare minimums for a really profound shift is at least either the voice of the deity or the master or God or Jesus. You can do that, or you can do your own voice if you're just coding yourself for various beliefs. But if you are trying to make that spirit contact, I would do both. I would have tracks that are in your own voice, and I would have tracks that are in the voice of the master. And I would almost structure it like a dialogue, or I would have one be the guidance and one be sort of like a storyteller intention setter. And then you could have tracks that are just like silence and binaural beats, so that you can follow the guidance. So that's what I'll usually do if I'm going to use some guidance, is I'll say do a track of just some guidance, like take me where you want to take me, and then give me like 3 to 5 minutes or 10 minutes to do the thing, and then give you the next set of guidance. So that's how I make my meditations for spirit contact in Destiny Engine, and what I've been playing with lately. And I'll tell you, it works. It's powerful. It really surprised me. I really only, the meditation I created to experiment with this, I really only tried it twice, and it worked on the second time. So be careful, have fun, and drop a comment. Was this helpful for you? What do you want to see more of? What entities have you made contact with? Because I know a lot of you are contacting the GFL, and I think that that's fascinating. So like this video if it was useful for you. It helps the algorithm out a ton. We're a new channel. We're not a big corporation, and we're trying to reach as many people as possible, because the more people that join the Destiny Hackers Collective, the more powerful our collective prayer and meditation gets as others join in and add their energy. So the effect is not additive, it's multiplicative, and there's that much more for everyone to share. If you haven't grabbed Destiny Engine yet and you think I'm just full of shit or something, well, it only costs $1, and you can try it right now for a full week. No strings attached, no catch, cancel anytime, and prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. But I think you're going to have a very big experience, and I want to hear about it in the comments. So subscribe to the Destiny Hackers Collective, and we'll catch you in the next one. This has been Mike From the Astral Atom Network, goodbye for now.